Hi boys and girls, we're going to get started on science today, so take out your Science Spin Scholastic News. Okay, and after we're finished, feel free to go on and watch a video about astronauts. If you follow this link, it's right at the top of your Science Scholastic News. This one is called Rocket Man, and it says, this is Leland Melvin. He loves dogs, football, and being an astronaut. And I think many of us can relate to that because we all love football in my classroom. All right, so the caption says, in space, his food floated. Okay, hardest job in the galaxy? Leland learned that being an astronaut is hard but amazing. Maybe you think your work is hard. Sure, you have spelling tests, but did you ever have to swim wearing a spacesuit or fly upside down and not puke? Leland has. He is an astronaut. That's a scientist who goes to space. Leland didn't know if he'd get chosen to be an astronaut. More than 2,000 people tried out for the job. Only 25 got picked. One of them was Leland. Okay, so our subheading says astronaut training. Then training started. Leland had to swim across the pool wearing a spacesuit and tennis shoes. He had to keep his head above water for 10 minutes, still wearing his spacesuit. He says, I think I drank about half the pool, but I passed. He had to fly in a jet called the Vomit Comet that swooped and dived and tried not to puke. Leland says proudly, I didn't lose my cookies once. Didn't lose my cookies. Do you think he actually had cookies that he tried to lose? No. Means he didn't get sick. So our next subheading, the rocket launch. Leland made it through training. He was ready for his first space mission. On launch day, he put on his orange flight suit. Leland's parents and high school science teacher cheered as he boarded the rocket. He was allowed to take a few personal things. He took a Curious George book he'd loved as a kid. Leland was strapped to his seat. Then it was 3, 2, 1, blast off. The rocket's speed pushed him back in his seat. It was hard to breathe. Then it got easier. Leland looked out the window. Behind him, Earth looked like a beautiful blue marble. Okay, our next subheading, working in space. It was time to get to work. Leland had to set up the rocket's toilet. Toilets in space are tricky. On Earth, we have gravity. It pulls us to the ground and keeps us from floating away. In space, there's less gravity. Everything floats. The toilet had a hose to collect the stinky stuff. Leland got it working. After 3 days, Leland reached the International Space Station. There he helped set up a new space science lab. Leland also used a robot to help repair the outside of the space station. That job was hard. It took 8 hours. When his work was done, Leland celebrated by opening a package of M&Ms. They floated. He caught them in his mouth and smiled. He made it to space. It was hard, but it was worth it. Okay, and this caption says, Leland took off in this. So now, before he was an astronaut, Leland was a professional football player. It's hard to get picked for both jobs. He was. These words describe football players. Check which are true for astronauts too. Hardworking, skillful, strong, cooperative. Now below it says Leland played for the Dallas Cowboys. Okay, if I would have to say Leland, to be a football player and an astronaut, you'd have to be hardworking, skillful, strong, and cooperative for both of them. So good skills to have. Okay, then on the back, let's read these little captions about the spacesuit. It says, diagram of a spacesuit. This is the new spacesuit that astronauts will wear. It has many cool features. So first, the helmet has a microphone so astronauts can talk to each other. This pouch holds a life raft that inflates if an astronaut lands in water. The gloves have finger pads that let astronauts use touch screens. We have some of those today. This oxygen case right here, it holds air for astronauts to breathe in an emergency. Okay, so I want you to go through and I want you to answer these questions. What has a microphone? The gloves, the helmet, the boots. Well, which one would make the most sense? What inflates in the water? The helmet, the gloves, a life raft. Number 3. What would astronauts use to help them breathe? The gloves, the pouch, the oxygen case. And number 4. What lets astronauts use touch screens? The oxygen case, finger pads, and the pouch. Once you finish that, boys and girls, you can put it back in your folder to turn in with me at the end of our next couple weeks. Great job.